Hello everyone, and today we're going to talk about the 2017 film, The Babysitter. It all starts with a scene showing Cole, who is incredibly afraid of ordinary injections, but he can't manage to escape. Catching his breath, Cole heads to class, where he has a friend named Melanie, but that's about it. After class, a group of bullies decides to mess with Cole since he's the only one who hasn't done anything with anyone yet. They're almost about to start a fight, but out of nowhere, B shows up, and with just a couple of words, she makes the guy run off. After an inspiring speech, B decides to give Cole a ride home, since she works as his babysitter. But as it happens, he fell in love with her because of a couple of perks. When they get home, Cole notices his mother, who is busy cleaning the basement. He asks her if she thinks of him as a child, and she replies that he's just going through a phase in life when everything seems scary, but with time, things will change. A couple of hours later, he's supposed to have a driving lesson with his dad, but everything goes terribly wrong because he's afraid of messing things up. Well, in that case, they might as well go get some donuts. After returning home, Cole spends the whole night googling all the new words until morning. He'll have to go to school feeling sleepy. While on the bus, Melanie teases him, saying that his babysitter brings strangers over while Cole is asleep. But he's sure that can't be true. And when he sees B walking with a guy, his mood suddenly drops. Archie announces that they're going on a little vacation, so B will be the only one watching him next weekend. The first thing they do is throw a little party with some pool jumping afterwards, which Cole clearly enjoys. A couple of hours later, Cole says he suspects his parents are going to get divorced, but B tells him not to think about it. It would be much better to convince Melanie to be his girlfriend. But seriously, even if his parents do get divorced, that won't stop him from growing up and figuring out his goals for adult life. And Cole laughed. Obviously, B understands why he's smiling and decides to leave, but Cole wants to keep the party going. One way or another, B puts Cole to bed, but before falling asleep, he calls Melanie again, who once more hints that as soon as he falls asleep, her friend will come over. And that's exactly what happens. Cole starts to hear someone's voices. It turns out there's a whole crowd here: Max, Allison, John, Sonia, and the guy Cole saw with B, Samuel. After a few tasks, it's Samuel's turn. And no matter how much he tries to pull away, B doesn't stop until a couple of extra objects end up in his head, since they're part of some cult shocking Cole. But that's not enough. They need the blood of the innocent. Hearing those words, Cole bolts and calls 911. All that's left is to pretend to be asleep. A couple of minutes later, a whole crowd enters the room. Shortly before this, B gave Cole a drink with some kind of substance in it, but she has no idea that he didn't drink any of it and is only pretending to be asleep, letting her give him a small injection. When the crowd leaves, the kid builds a ladder, but there's a problem. B is already there, starting to lose consciousness. When he comes to, he finds himself surrounded by a whole circle of skilled hands. B doesn't understand why he simply didn't drink her beverage, while Cole slowly but methodically cuts the rope, unaware that there's a mirror behind him. So then Cole says he didn't see anything, and B believes him, adding that they just gave him a little shot for a science project. And Sonia is already ready to untie the kid. But then the police arrive. Max uses a stick like a spear, taking out a cop, but the cop manages to fire his gun, hitting Allison and forcing B to finish what was started. The other police officers try to assess the situation, and while the whole team is figuring out what to do, Max just grabs the radio and says everything is fine on their end. And surprisingly, it worked. And Allison actually managed to survive while Cole just makes a run for it. A guy sees this and chases after him, only to fall into a trap, go flying, and get taken out instantly. This time, Max goes on the hunt, but Cole isn't easy to catch and manages to escape through the window. Thinking about where he could hide, Cole chooses the shed. But here's the problem: Samuel's body is lying there. So he grabs a huge firework as a weapon and runs to the basement. But the handy crew is already one step ahead there too. Sonia is already checking the basement for the little rat. Cole gets the idea to hide under a blanket, but a nasty tarantula ruins everything. Sonia hears the noise and orders him not to run anywhere. But Cole does the exact opposite, setting off the firework, though he misses. However, Sonia finds a couple of mousetraps, which lets her escape and even lock the only exit. To top it all off, she adds a little spray, triggering an explosion. Obviously, Sonia is a bit tired, but Max is full of energy, starting another chase. And even here, Cole had an ace up his sleeve, which stuns Max, though only for a couple of seconds. A moment before the takedown, a thug decides to approach their house and throw food all over it. Max can't understand how some guy can just vandalize someone else's property, so he sends Cole to deal with him, which allows him to knock the guy to the ground and secretly explain what's actually going on. But the guy thinks Cole is crazy and drives off, which means the chase from Max continues. Cole, in a panic, rushes to the treehouse, but that doesn't stop Max from climbing up after him. Before finishing him off, Max wants to tidy Cole up, but his weight is too much, one of the boards cracks, and because his hands are slippery, the rope slips through, and Max leaves this world. Seeing their scuffle, B fires a shot straight into the ground, and Cole runs away once again. He makes it to Melanie, who had heard the gunfire. Cole tells her everything that happened to him, and Melanie believes him, adding that there's no one else here but her. B enters the house just as a phone starts ringing upstairs. After checking the source of the sound, she comes back downstairs. During this time, Melanie managed to draw attention to herself, and Cole set his mind on saving her. And to do that, he needs to deal with B. When Cole gets to the house, he's shocked to see that all the destruction has somehow disappeared, except for Allison. Entering the kitchen, he notices an ancient book, but Allison distracts him. In an attempt to defend himself, he accidentally touches the soft spot, and Allison immediately starts blaming him. Suddenly, B takes her out, adding that she just needs the book and will leave him alone afterward. But Cole doesn't believe her and holds up a lighter, saying he'll destroy the book unless she tells him what really happened here. B says they can start over with a clean slate, just the two of them, winking as she says it. But he doesn't fall for that nonsense, destroys the book, and once again makes a run for it straight to Melanie's dad's car, which conveniently crashes through the whole house, taking B out. The commotion brings the local troublemakers, as well as Kyle's parents, to the scene. And that's where the movie ends. And we're really curious to know how you rate this film. Just recommend us something interesting. We'll see you again very soon. Bye.